Bubba Wallace finds himself at a crossroads in his NASCAR career as the dust settles from the dramatic incident at the GEICO 500. Many people are asking if he has what it takes to compete at the highest level after his latest blunder on the track. Will this crash be the last blow for Wallace? Or will he be given another chance to prove himself? Find out in this video as we look at the aftermath of the Talladega Superspeedway race and what it means for Bubba Wallace's future. Is he the next step closer to a replacement? But before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. Talladega Superspeedway is known for its explosive finishes, and the 2023 GEICO 500 further added to that reputation. Kyle Busch was able to steal the victory at Talladega following a double overtime restart. He was able to avoid a wreck on the final lap and win the race under caution. But how did everything turn upside down for Bubba Wallace, despite leading the race? Wallace, who was behind the wheel of the number 23 Toyota Camry TRD, was one of the drivers who appeared to have a legitimate shot at winning the race on the 2.6-mile-long course, even though his car was hard to control throughout the 500-mile race. The Mobile, Alabama native put himself in a position to fight for the win near the end. After attempting a defensive move on Team Penske's Ryan Blaney on the 188th and final lap of the race, Wallace lost control of his vehicle and spun out, therefore ending any chance he had of winning the race. Busch did not lead a single lap until double overtime when he came through when it counted for his 62nd career victory, his first at Talladega since 2008 and his second this season. Blaney's disappointing finish, considering he was in the lead for the majority of the competition's closing stages, came in second place. Blaney was involved in a late crash that contributed to Busch's victory. At the time, Bubba Wallace was leading the race and blocked Blaney, which caused him to spin and take out a number of other cars. If Blaney had been able to hold on for the win, it would have ended a streak of 55 races without a victory for him. Bubba Wallace has admitted that he is to blame for the collision that he was involved in with Ryan Blaney during the NASCAR Cup Series GEICO 500 that took place at Talladega Superspeedway on April 23rd. After the race, he gave an interview in which he said, "I managed to pull a late block, close block, and just sent us around. It was not Ryan Blaney's, the number 12, fault." Both Wallace and Blaney were knocked out of the race as a result of the collision that occurred on the final lap of NASCAR's visit to Talladega, which allowed Kyle Busch to take the checkered flag and win for the first time at Talladega since 2008. After the race, Wallace addressed the media and claimed that he was the one who was at fault for the incident, not Blaney. He said the following, close block and just sent us around, not the 12's fault. I honestly thought that he would leave me high and dry coming back around. I caused that one. I thought it would play out a little differently, not the 12's fault at all." Wallace, who was looking for his first victory in the Cup Series of the year, ended up with his third worst result of the year. Wallace's goal for the race was to win. Michael Jordan sat on top of Bubba Wallace's pit box at Talladega so that he could see him win. The majority of the race was spent with Wallace in the first place, and the 2311 racing driver entered the last lap in an excellent position to take the checkered flag. During the finish, there was a camera focused on MJ. Jordan did not appear to be upset with anyone, but he also did not appear to be joyful. That's the variety of feelings you can expect to experience if you're an owner, a driver, or even just a fan. You look over to see your driver in the first place one moment, and the next, they've been involved in a collision. Although Jordan has only owned a team for a few years, he has been a NASCAR fan for a very long time, so he is quite familiar with that aspect of the sport. So, what do you think his reaction means? Will Bubba Wallace soon get replaced? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. Ryan Blaney gives his thoughts on Bubba Wallace's accident in the NASCAR race. After the event, Ryan Blaney didn't criticize Bubba Wallace for trying to block him while he was defending his lead. At Talladega Superspeedway, Wallace was leading the final lap of overtime when Blaney had a nice run into turn 1 and attempted to pass Wallace. However, Wallace was able to block Blaney's attempts to go low and high and took the lead. Blaney had reached his breaking point, so he collided with the back of Wallace's number 23 Toyota, which propelled Wallace up the track and into the wall during the third effort to block. Because of the incident, NASCAR was forced to issue a caution, which froze the positions of the cars and ultimately resulted in Kyle Busch being declared the winner of the race. After the race, when asked about the crash, Blaney responded as follows, "I'm not blaming anybody. Just hard racing at the end of this thing. Unfortunately, that car got torn up and we missed out on another win." Despite the fact that he finished in second place, Blaney voiced his disappointment in the fact that he was unable to capitalize on what he saw to be an outstanding opportunity to win his first race of the 2023 season. Many fans turned to social media to criticize the driver, Wallace Jr., for his self-inflicted spin that occurred as a result of the contact that was made, which was perceived as an over-the-edge triple block that was executed by Wallace Jr. The best reactions were, "I get it's for the win, but that triple block in 1-2 was just a strange move. Dude was strong all day, but that's on him. There was nothing wrong with what Bubba did. He was just trying to win." As to Bubba, sorry, but sometimes a second, third, or fourth place is better than 20 or 25 places, and wrecking a $150,000 race car and causing other cars trashed. During the race, many drivers tried to get to the front of the pack and into victory lane, but some of their hopes were dashed as the pack tried to cross the start-finish line. A heavy crash during the first overtime restart involving some other drivers who appeared to be in a position to win necessitated the second overtime restart. Noah Gragson was in the lead when he was pushed by Ross Chastain, who was pushed in turn by Kyle Larson. Gragson spun against the wall, while Larson spun into the grass as a result of the collision. Larson was subsequently blasted on the right side by Ryan Preece, who was trying to avoid the collision. Preece said after finishing 34th, "Definitely one of the hardest hits I've taken in my racing career." Larson, who finished 33rd, said, "Fortunately, I'm fine. My car is completely destroyed, just a bummer. Placed ourselves in position once again on a superspeedway and results don't indicate it." For the most part, the race was run in a double file. As the tight racing left little room for passing, a changing group of drivers would occupy the top few slots throughout the race. It didn't take long for the first crash to occur, with Michael McDowell spinning off on lap 2 after blowing a tire. However, after that, warnings were few and far between. The only other notable incidents in the first stage were Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe spinning when coming on pit road on laps 35 and 41 respectively. After the spin flattened his tires, the latter driver was stranded on the pit road, prompting the race's second caution. Due to the warning, Chase Elliott and the Chevrolet drivers are now in the lead. In only his second race following a 6-race absence due to a leg injury, Elliott maintained the lead to win the opening stage. Stage 2 featured a diverse group of drivers leading laps in the traditional restrictor plate race style. Elliott was in a position to win that stage again, but Eric Almirola made a late pass to claim the win. Harrison Burton took the lead with about 50 laps to go, but he was the first leader to be wrecked out of the race after spinning off the nose of Gregson's vehicle. As the laps ticked away, Blaney, Wallace, and others battled for the lead. Joey Logano was pushed and spun by Corey LaJoie, with about 5 laps remaining as the two drivers, along with others, attempted to form a third line of drivers to get to the front of the pack. That caution generated an overtime finish that had leaders on edge as several were at the very end of a fuel cycle. Under caution, drivers attempted to save fuel. As the race restarted, Gragson and Almirola were leading until Gragson was turned into the wall, eliminating the chances of numerous drivers. Chris Buescher came in 3rd, Briscoe came in 4th, and Keselowski came in 5th. Bubba Wallace Jr. will be racing at Dover Motor Speedway on Sunday, April 30th. So that's all we've got for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.